Welcome back to
Conversations with Chris.
and Crystal.
And today we are giving you the video that we promised of making jewelry from Temu jewelry purchases.
Yep, from the rings we made earrings.
So let's get into it.
Okay.
Okay, so when you're going to make jewelry, you need to set out your supplies. So first we have the rings that I'm going to convert into earrings. Then I have my tools set aside, which in this case I set aside a wire cutter and a bolt cutter. And I also have a cat on hand. That's really not required. I just thought I'd throw that in there. So the first thing we're going to do is cut the shanks off of the rings. So I think I'll start with these because it looks to me like the shank is going to be easier to cut since it's got these two little thingies down here. Okay, a little too much for the wire cutters, so that's when our handy bolt cutters come in handy. All right, so I'm taking my bolt cutters. I like to set it down so that I get the added help of a firm surface to add to the strength. There we go. All right, so it's removed from the shank. And now you can see that it's kind of got these sharp edges to it. So I'm going to need to grind that down with my grinder. Okay, moving on to the blue rings. So this has a double shank that leads into a single shank. It'll just come off. Take my wired cutters and see if I can pry this off. Just like a knife through butter. All right, let's see if we can't get these to come off. Oh, good. It's bending, so I should be able to pry it off. Yes, this is much better. Now I just have this little spot right here to put on the grinder so it gets nice and smooth. And we'll be all set to turn these into earrings. So that piece got a little bit hot. If that happens, simply move on to the next piece. Always make sure you wear the proper eyewear to keep yourself protected. Another thing you can do if something gets too hot to work with is take a pair of pliers to hold it in that. Be very careful to keep your fingers away from the moving parts. All right, so we have gotten past the grinding and so forth, and now we are ready to glue our backs onto the earrings. These earrings are a little bit tricky because you don't want to glue something directly to the stone. So I'm going to have to maybe get some larger earring bases because otherwise this is going to happen. And I don't want that. So it's either that or I'd have to glue it to the tops. And I don't really want them dangling like that. I wanted them centered. So I'm going to have to get some larger earrings backs for those. These I can go ahead and do. So let's get out our Gorilla Clear Grip glue. And we'll get those glued on. So with Gorilla Glue, you want to glue both sides to get a good seal. Then you're going to wait for 2 minutes before you put them together. Let's get that All right, it has been 2 minutes. Let's get these guys joined together. There we go. Clean off the excess a little bit. Of course, in my experience with Gorilla Glue, there's always more excess. As it dries, it like spews it out. Okay, so we've got these two done and ready to go. Oops. As soon as they dry, they'll be ready to wear. So I've got these nice. I also want to point out that when you have earrings that are this big, you're going to want this type of earring back because that helps it stay level on your ear. Otherwise, it's going to be falling forward on your ear, and that's not a very attractive look, and it's certainly not what you want when you wear this type of earring. Okay, so I went to Hobby Lobby to try and get some bigger earring posts, you know, bigger round thingies on there. And unfortunately, they didn't have any. They did have the bigger backs, so I got some more of those. I'm going to be needing those. So what I decided to do instead was to take a piece of felt and cut little circles from it. That way this circle can be glued to the outside edges of the jewel, so it's not going to interfere with the jewel itself. And then I can glue the post onto the piece of felt. So we'll see how that works, and I will let you know if that solved my problem. It's not ideal, but it's better than doing the old stick this in the middle of the thing, right on top of the gem, because that does not work well. I originally thought that I would maybe try and use some metal pieces, little round metal pieces, but we don't want this to be any heavier because it's, you know, it's not heavy, and I'd like to keep it light, as light as possible. So that's why I went with the felt. We'll see how it does. If these stones had been clear, I would recommend using a white felt rather than the yellow. Because these are yellow, the yellow felt is not going to detract from the beauty of the stone. You don't necessarily have to match the color felt to the stone, but it's not a bad idea. So again, these so far they seem to be doing okay. I'm going to have to see if I can anchor the felt down pretty, better to make sure that this does not come off. Okay, both sets of earrings are done. We just need to wait 24 hours for the glue to set, and we'll see how well they hold up. So here we are 24 hours later, and this is what the earrings look like. Again, the felt held up pretty good, but it's not ideal. So if in the future I come across some large rounded circles on the posts, I will probably pull off the felt and glue those on instead. And here's how the blue ones came out. They are ready to go on there, nice and secure. So I have no worries about them breaking off. Of course, when you do glue the posts to the earrings, you don't want to give them stress tests or anything like that. Ideally, if you know how to solder, that would be the way to go because soldering is much more durable.
All right, so what did you think?
That's quite a process.
Yeah.
Wow, that's a lot of stuff to do. I haven't worked with jewelry for too many years, and so that was really interesting.
Yeah, and I just recently found some bigger posts, the bigger round things.
Oh, yeah, the round things, as she calls them, round things, but they're posts.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I mean the thing on the end of the
Right. Yeah, the base of it.
Yeah, is that? Yeah, I don't know if any of you know what that really technical term for that is. I'd love to know. Not that I'll remember it, but
Yeah, yeah.
anyway, I did find some, so I will probably pull that felt off and attach those to them.
Okay,
So
sounds good.
I'll make it more sturdy and
Yeah,
easier to wear.
yeah, yeah. Okay.
All right.
Well, that was a lot of fun. Yeah, I just grinding it down, and that's a lot of work.
That's not that bad.
Okay. All right. Well,
It's
so
just,
let us know if any of you have found some jewelry that you wanted to work on and make something out of it.
and send pictures. We'd love to see it.
Yes, absolutely. It's a lot of fun to see what other people are coming up with.
Yeah.
So, alrighty. Well, as we always say, take care of yourself because nobody else will. Keep those cards and letters coming.